Hello and welcome to my vlog 3 on my assessment of a coaching session. My session is with a professional footballer from Northampton Town Football Club who was in the late stages of his return to play protocol following a second hip avulsion fracture of the rec fem muscle. In this video, I aim to highlight two key factors that I identified during the coaching session. One will be negative and the other will be a positive. I will now show a bit of footage of me coaching with this athlete. Following this, I will then highlight some of the issues I have with this bit of the session. Let me also apologise for some of the sound quality. Due to technical difficulties, this is not the best. My criticism of myself during this session is I don't feel that I am positive enough or communicate in a good enough way with the athlete. I think at times my persona doesn't look positive or energetic, which means that I may be at risk of not getting the best out of my athlete. Also, when the athlete completes the drill, either by putting the ball into the back of the net or goes extremely well through the hurdles, I don't think I am able to be positive enough and highlight this to the athlete and thus maybe not giving them the confidence boost that they need. This may be discussed later when we discuss the influences of the relationship with this athlete. But I just feel that during this part of the session I could, one, be slightly more authoritative with my leadership or a bit more vocal and be better with my praise and my communication with the athlete when they have done the task well. Again, the following clip will go on to show examples of me not performing as I have described here. Driving that knee forward instead of coming up the front. The more positive aspect of this coaching session and the relationship with this athlete in general actually comes to the coach-athlete relationship that we have developed. As previously mentioned, this player is suffering from his second injury and a second reoccurrence of the same injury. So he had a lack of trust and a fear of returning to this stage of his rehabilitation. Due to coaches that he had worked with previously, he did have a fear of returning to this stage and about being pushed too far. So because of this, we had to build a relationship where, as you can see in the video, we communicate a lot. We're talking about how he finds the session, how he's feeling, his confidence and belief, but also a platform where we can push him and he feels that he has belief in what we're doing. And we try to build a relationship based on that mutual trust, a respect for one another, respect for him respecting that I know what I want to get out of the sessions and that I am logically planning and strategically planning our sessions, but also respect from me to him that if he is feeling things that he's not making it up, and I have to be aware of that. So we communicated a lot, and we were understanding of each other, and tried to build this within to our coaching sessions and our relationship. It's also important for me to consider the personality of this athlete. Due to his previous experiences, he demonstrates quite often a hypochondriac archetype, as described by Brett Bartholomew in his book Conscious Coaching. And this is all about how to get by with athletes. This athlete tends to, when he feels anything outside of his discomfort, he tends to catastrophize that and finds it worrying and fearful. So we had to retrain him to understand the difference between pain and discomfort, and when to push himself and to believe that he had the confidence in himself to go and complete the session. That's why you see us having a lot of time communicating and educating the player in what movements are going to be dangerous for his injury and what aren't, and then just giving him confidence in himself, telling him that he can do it, and telling him that he is able to execute the movements that we've done it in other either gym-based sessions or in other activities. But this comes back to my previous point about maybe being more positive within the session to reinforce that positivity that we're having within the communication itself. The following clip provides some example of the dialogue that I talk about with this athlete.
I still feel it a little bit. A little bit, yeah? On what part? They're getting there. What part? The deceleration. It's the decel, no, but then going on. Used to get, oh, also, used to get a problem doing decel. Which is if you get recovered. What, when you've done it before? If I do it before, no, when I do it before. It's weird, because it's all hamstring. That, you feel
So, why is it important to have this relationship, and also how do we go about developing it? So, it's important for the athlete to have this relationship and this dialogue because, as I said, his fear and his worry can affect his performance, especially at this stage with him being previously injured. So based on the Jowlett's 3 Cs+1 model, which is influenced by the social exchange theory, we worked, or I aimed to develop a relationship of closeness. And by doing this, I made the athlete understand that I understood his previous circumstances, that I was there for him as opposed to just trying to get him back into the team. And we done this by kind of highlighting to him that we wasn't going to push him back. There was times where I directly stood up to other members of the team to not rush his return to play. One notable moment when he had a clear discrepancy in his strength still, and people wanted him to go out to run, and we said no to that. And this inspired confidence in him that I had his best interests at heart. Following that, it also showed that I was committed. The second C in Charlotte's model, I was committed to him, to getting him better, and in return, he was committed to believing in what I was doing and following my set instructions, knowing that he also had the trust that if he said things were hurting him or he needed to stop, that we would fulfil that. The other 2 Cs, complementary and co-orientation, we tried to implement this by having a lot of affiliation. We spent a lot of time together, and kind of mimicking each other's behaviours in sense of trust, and kind of just being able to support each other in when we needed each other. So the two main points highlighted in this video is to be more positive with my athlete throughout the session. However, we had a good underlying relationship which allows me and the athlete to communicate well and proceed through the session with addressing his fears and getting a good response from him throughout the whole session. Thank you for watching.